Here with her original stuff is Sarah Gaul.
Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the basement. It's such a pleasure to be here. 2013 was a massive year for the Earth and for me. Probably the biggest thing that happened for me was that I relocated geographically from Melbourne to Sydney. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, in hindsight, this was such a fantastic move because I left so little behind in Melbourne. I left behind like $9.23 credit on my Mikey card, a modest collection of Paisley lesbian vests, and of course the carnage, the train wreck, the steaming shit pile of my first adult relationship. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, it's 2014 and I'm an adult. And I know I'm an adult because I own things that adults own, like I own a clothes horse, and I own a really good quality spatula and a stainless steel colander, and I understand and can use in sentences for the first time ever fancy adult acronyms that I could never use before, things like ATO and GST and UNICEF and ALP and TNT and STI, like I get them. I really get them. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? As I said, I'm an adult, and I've moved on from that relationship, but he hasn't. He won't move on. He won't forget. Just like every decent novel or every movie trilogy, things just have to come to an end. And no matter if you flick back several chapters or rewind, you can't erase that you know what happens in the end. Yes, I do that. Yes, I dwell. I see 1,000 what ifs laid out before me, thinking, wouldn't it be swell if I could clap my hands and go back in time and make you less of a boy than a man? Now it's the end. Now it's finito. I've done the therapy. I've moved on, even though I see you fucking everywhere. Are you my shadow? There's a fine line between coincidence and an AVO. Coincidence and an AVO. For example, shopping for tampons in Coles on Tuesday, choosing a brand, I feel your hand on my shoulder. You say, hi, hello, it's been a while, how you been? With your hand literally still on my shoulder. You laugh, look at the tampon, smile and say, lol. I've been where that's gonna go. You were always inappropriate. There's special tampon aisle etiquette, and that sure as hell's not it. Or in the Centrelink queue, just last Wednesday, listening to Bruce Springsteen over his voice, I hear yours say, hello, been a while, how you going, Sarah? Oh, they cut off my payments, and you laugh like it's hilarious. You laugh like it's hilarious, and I literally just sit there just like this. Increasingly more like this. Like this. Bushwalking near Katoomba, just last Friday, chilling by a river when you drift past on a raft. And you say, oh, lovely day for outdoor activities. You're starving and have no lunch, I see. He pulls up with a crunch and starts to unpack lunch. But it's only 10:30, so it's actually brunch. And there was one way out and one way in, so I threw my body in the river and I started to swim. I threw my body in the river and I started to swim. But I looked back and I saw that he had jumped in. Yeah, he'd started to swim. We both started to swim. So I saw some loose vines and I started to swing. But he did the same thing. Yeah, he did the same thing. So I found a local turtle and held onto its fin, and it started to swim and he continued to swing. But I was pretty fucking From somewhere came a really strong wind, and I looked back and I saw his head had gone in. Yeah, his head had gone in. His head had gone in. He didn't even look like he was trying to swim. He didn't even look like he was trying to swim. And before I could catch him, he floated downstream. So I jumped off my turtle and patted his head. But before he swam off, I looked into his eyes and said, like every decent novel or every movie trilogy, things just have to come to an end. And I pulled myself out of the river by a convenient tree branch. Last Friday, thinking if you were here now, what creepy shit would you say? Then a hand reaches out of the dark river. You pull your body on the bank and you start to shiver. You start to shiver. You start to shiver because you nearly drowned in a fairly cold river, and I suspected you still wouldn't be able to swim. So I grabbed you by the shoulders and I shoved you back in. Yeah, I shoved you back in. I shoved you back in. I hit you with a rock, then I shoved you back in. I hit you with your fresh baguette, then I shoved you back in. Brown pepper in your eyes, then I shoved you back in. I found some local school kids, we all shoved you back in. Then the turtle from the floor helped me shove you back in. The PM tweeted that he's glad that I shoved you back in. And then BBC reported that I shoved you back in. David Mamet wrote a play called I Shoved You Back In. There's a public holiday called I Shoved You Back In. J.K. Rowling's next book's called I Shoved You Back In. People shall name the children, shoved you back in. Shoved you back